Hi, I'm Bill Hampton with the AutoBeat Group, here today with Jennifer Dukarski from Butzel Long. Jen, thanks for joining us.
Well, Bill, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here.
We want to talk about connected cars and autonomous cars. Every time somebody talks about that, the issues of liability come up right away.
Absolutely.
This is an area that you study, and maybe you can tell us where we are with that subject.
Well, certainly. With respect to liability, there are so many different nuanced issues. You have your traditional product safety issues, things like vehicles having malfunctions and possibly collisions. You have the risk of hacking, someone actually tapping into the system, causing a vehicle to fail, and any potential resultant accident or any injuries or death from that sort of a situation. So traditional product safety type concerns. You also have issues with privacy and all of the data that these connected vehicles collect, and alongside that data you have issues of security and the risk for data security and cyber theft.
Well, lots of issues there, and yet everybody seems to agree that if you could connect cars, this would be a great thing, that consumers and drivers would appreciate that. They would enjoy the safety and convenience that comes with that. But getting from here to there means kind of resolving all those things that you mentioned. Is this possible? Is this ever going to happen?
Well, it feels very piecemeal, but there are little elements that are being taken care of as we go. For starters, some of the traditional liability issues, the law is well established in that area, so we really don't need to reinvent the wheel. But when it comes to issues like cybersecurity and data theft, we do need to start looking at things that people in the automotive industry and people who drive cars haven't thought of before. We're finally starting to wrap our hands around thinking our cell phones are full of information. Now we have to think of our cars in the same context. But from a regulatory standpoint, we do have a lot of the agencies, and really it's the alphabet soup of agencies, NHTSA, the Department of Transportation, DOT, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. All of these organizations are creating regulations that impact the liability issue. So over the next few years, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of regulatory changes. NHTSA, for example, tipped us off back in August that rules are coming that are going to mandate the creation of these vehicles.
And that's where you get some structure here is from legislative rulemaking and regulatory guidelines, if you will.
To some degree, they're going to establish the groundwork. They're going to provide some of the base information. This NHTSA proposed rule, for example, is going to tell us that we have to have these communications devices in vehicles. Now, how they talk and how they communicate, that's not going to be captured in the regulations. That's why organizations and agencies are going to be very helpful in coming up with some of the more detailed specifications and some of the more detailed policies that are implemented by the automakers to protect your data and to make sure the vehicles communicate.
Busy time ahead. Jennifer, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Bill.